Okay, so we're going to do some work on rearranging for iteration. Now we won't do any iteration this time, but that will come a little bit later on. So if we have a look at this question, number one, show that x squared minus 7x, plus 7x minus 4 equals 0 can be rearranged to give x equals 4/7 minus x squared over 7. So if we take this format here and write that as our first line of working. Now we want to get to this format here. So for iteration questions where you're asked to rearrange, it's always x equals something. Now, because I've done lots of these questions before, I know that it's going to be that x that I'm trying to rearrange for. Now the reason I know that is because if it were this x that I was trying to rearrange for, there would be a square root involved somewhere in the thing I was trying to rearrange for, because I'd have to undo that x squared. But there isn't, so I know it's this x. Now that will become clearer when we look at the second example. So we've got x squared plus 7x minus 4 equals 0. And I'm going to rearrange for this x here. So first of all, let's add 4 to both sides. And we've got x squared plus 7x equals 4. And then let's take away x squared. So we've now got 7x that side. If we take away x squared this side, we've got 4 minus x squared. And then to get x on its own, we're going to divide through by 7. We've got x equals 4 over x squared, all divided by 7. Now, that's almost the same as that, but not quite. Now we can just split this up into two terms as it's written. So 4 over 7 minus x squared over 7. All we've done there, if you're confused by that, is kind of done the reverse of a subtraction in fractions. If I was asking you to do this subtraction in fractions, it's the same denominator, so we can just combine those two numerators to 4 minus x squared to give that. So we're just doing that process in reverse, and there we go. We've rearranged it into that format, which is what we were looking to do there. Okay, so that was the first question. Now let's have a look at another one. So this time we want to show that x cubed plus 8x minus 2 equals 0 can be rearranged to the form x equals the cube root of 2 minus 8x. Now, because it involves a cube root, I know I'm going to be trying to rearrange for this x here. Let's just to kind of try and illustrate this a little bit, I'm going to do it deliberately wrong, and I'm going to rearrange for this x, and you'll see I don't get anything like this format. So I've got x cubed plus 8x minus 2 equals 0. And let's say I try to rearrange for this x, then I'd add 2 to both sides. So I'd have x cubed plus 8x equals 2. That's adding 2 to both sides. Then I'd take away x cubed, because I'm wrongly trying to rearrange for this x. Take away x cubed, take away x cubed. I've got 2 minus x cubed equals 8x. And then divide through by 8. And I've got x is equal to 2 minus x cubed over 8. And you can see that that looks nothing like that. So clearly that's wrong. So I've been rearranging for the wrong x. So let's rearrange for this x here. So let's write it out again. X cubed plus 8x minus 2 equals 0. So first of all, we will add 2. We're going to rearrange for this x, remember? So we'll add 2 to both sides, as we did previously actually. So x cubed plus 8x equals 2. And I'm rearranging for this x. I'm going to get rid of this plus 8x by subtracting 8x. And then finally, to get the x on its own, I'm going to take the cube root. So taking the cube root, we've got 2 minus 8x cube rooted, which is exactly what we've got there, and that's what we wanted. So yep, we're done. The nice thing about these questions is, because it's a show that question, they kind of give you the answer. It's just showing that you know how to get there. Okay, the final question we're going to have a look at is a much harder type of question, and I'll illustrate the sorts of mistakes you might make for this question. So you might think, okay, it doesn't involve a square root or anything, the thing I'm rearranging it for. So I'm showing that x squared minus 3x minus 2 can be rearranged to give x equals 2 over x minus 3. So because it doesn't involve a square root, you might think it's not going to be rearranging for that x, it's going to be rearranging for this x. Sorry, there should be an equals 0 in there. Now let's just see what happens when we try and rearrange for this x here. So x squared minus 3x minus 2 equals 0. And we're going to try and rearrange for that one because it looks like it might be that. So if we take away x, let's add 2 to both sides first of all. Add 2, that looks promising because there's a 2 there. So that's x squared minus 3x, and I'm rearranging for this x, so I'm going to take away x squared, and suddenly it's not looking so good because we don't have a minus x squared anywhere. Equals minus 3x, and then I guess I could divide by negative 3. But that's nothing like that. There's kind of some similarity but with 2's and 3's, but it's clearly not right. So what do? I mean, I'd have problems if I tried to rearrange for that x as well. That wouldn't work either. I won't go through it here, but you can try it for yourself if you like. So if you've got, this is a harder type of question. Now what I suggest you do actually for this is work in reverse. Once you've done a few of these, you might be able to do them forwards, but what I always advise students to do is to say, right, that's what we start off with, and this is the point we want to end up at. So we want to end up at x equals 2 over x minus 3. Okay, so working in reverse, I want to get back to that point. Now let's get it all on a single line. So if we multiply both sides by x minus 3, that's kind of a strategy we've used a lot when we've done manipulation with equations. We've got x and then x minus 3. Okay, and you might be able to see actually this is kind of looking a little bit more promising. So notice I'm not putting any of the working in here because I'm kind of working backwards, but what I've done from there to there is I've multiplied through by the denominator by x minus 3 going upwards. Okay, right, then let's expand this bracket because you can probably see that actually we're getting quite close to this. If I expand that bracket, so x squared minus 3x equals 2, and then if I take away 2 from both sides, so I've got 0 there, and then x squared minus 3x minus 2. Yeah, I've got back to where I wanted. So putting the forward working in here is we took away 2 from both sides, then we factorised the left hand side. So we didn't do anything to the right hand side. We're just not changing it, it's just changing the way it's written. So we factorised it, and then this part we divided through by the bracket x minus 3. We don't need to write it in brackets there, but it is kind of in brackets. Okay, so that's my recommendation. If you get a question and you just can't rearrange it, write the form you're trying to rearrange it to at the bottom, and then kind of work backwards back up to the top. So that's the harder style question. Okay, that's it.